All right, you made it, you're done. We got a couple more videos talking about, future learning resources, where to go from here, that kind of good stuff. But thanks for coming on this journey with me. I hope you have a good idea about SwiftUI now, especially passing the data, right? That was my whole goal for this. So let's talk about where to go from here. How can you continue your learning? Well, first of all, don't be afraid to go back and redo things, review videos, right? Like I've said a bunch of times, you don't just watch one video and you get it. Like repetition is the key. Like SwiftUI is not easy to learn. Like it took me a long time. So if you're still shaky on some things, don't feel bad. Go back and rewatch the parts you're not quite getting. And also, if you skip the challenges, which I know a lot of you did, go back and redo those now that you feel like you've got a little more experience under your belt. Or take these 4 apps that we've built, right? You got a nice base. Start building and expanding on those apps. Start using your imagination to build a product. What feature could make this product better? Or what animation could spice this up a little bit to be really, really nice? That is where the real learning comes, right? Listening to what I say, typing what I type. Yeah, that's cool. You're gonna get your start that way, and you need that for sure. But the real learning comes when you have your own idea and you're like, okay, how do I make that happen? And then you figure it out, through other tutorials, reading documentation, experimentation, right? That's where the magic happens. So again, go back and use these 4 apps as a basis for that. I mean, just some ideas, right? You can explore with landscape mode, how would you adjust the UI to support landscape? Maybe you want to support iPad, right? Or again, maybe you want to add some cool animations and start going down that path on how you can spice these up. The next thing I want to talk about before you go is SwiftUI's evolution. We're still so early. It's not even 2 years since it's been announced, right? It's been 1.5 years since it's been announced. Crazy, right? And it's still growing, it's still evolving, it's still maturing. Like I mentioned in the beginning, best practices are still being established. With UIKit, we've had years and years and years of high level, huge production apps to kind of build these best practices and thoughts. None of that exists with SwiftUI yet. So this is me saying, use what we learned here as a foundation to help you grow and evolve. I guarantee you in 2 years, now that I've been writing SwiftUI for even longer and longer and longer, my style is probably going to change. Some of the things I taught here, I'd be like, oh man, I would have taught that differently, and expect that. And that's a very big takeaway too, is the only thing I can promise you about SwiftUI is that it is going to change a lot over the next couple years. So just be prepared for that, expect that. And the last thing before we wrap up this video is I would love to hear your feedback. If I'm being completely transparent and honest, I was a little nervous about doing this course, right? My UIKit courses, I've done my whole career in UIKit. I felt confident about that, but SwiftUI is so new. Nobody has a ton of experience in SwiftUI because it's only been out for a year and a half. So I would love to hear feedback. Again, I have plans for future courses. I'm always trying to make them better. So good or bad, right? I can take it. Give me the constructive criticism. What could I have done better? I would love to hear it because again, it's only going to improve my future courses. And if you did enjoy this course, you got a ton of value out of it. I guess my one request would be to just spread the word, share it, right? Put it out on Twitter, tag me in it, I'll retweet it. It really helps me out a lot, right? This is my livelihood now, selling these courses. So again, if you enjoyed it, I guess the only thing I can ask is to share it. So that wraps up this video. In the next video, I'm going to talk about some of the resources I learned to use SwiftUI and share that with you so you can progress your learning as well.